Okay, so as the title suggests, we're doing more work on the dungeon generation script that I've been working on. Off camera, I did a little bit of work. I plugged it into Unity to kind of give it a test over there, um, because at the end of the day, that's what I'll be using it with for a game project a friend and I are working on. So I wanted to make sure it worked over there, and it did really well actually, barring a Stack Overflow error that it was throwing with multiple rooms being created. But I potentially solved that issue on this end because it was throwing it over here too on the test script. So potentially I fixed that, and I'll walk through kind of the fix really quick. But yeah, so I got it working with Unity as an editor, so I can generate random dungeons at edit time, which is really cool. It's really useful. So yeah, so let's jump into this then. So the big thing that I did change was creating a recursive function to return all the rooms. Because what our dungeon does right now, our build dungeon method, returns sort of that starting room, the head of the dungeon. Um, so what I needed to do was recursively go through each room, finding all of the rooms adjacent to it, all the rooms adjacent to those, adjacent to those, adjacent to those, and then return them as a big long list. So we have that. So calling it from the head of the dungeon, get rooms with a reference to the rooms list right here. And all that get rooms is, it calls the actual recursive function. And then the recursive function says, okay, sorry, my mouse is freaking out on me. Okay, so then the recursive function says, hey, add this room to the list of rooms, and then check to make sure that we do have a room attached to this one, at least one, and that the last ID we sent isn't a part of this. So basically, that this room isn't attached to one we previously came from. Um, that might pose a problem now that I'm saying it out loud. Oh no, no, it won't, because right. So we want to make sure this is just making sure that this doesn't break out of the recursive function at the beginning because there will not be a room attached, so it'll be 0. But right, I did this correct. I just doubted myself. So what this is going to say is if we only have one room attached, make sure it's not the one we just came from, and if it is, just break out of this. We don't want to check anything else because then it'll be an infinite loop of checking back and forth. So, and that was really all I did. I was trying to figure out the issue with that Stack Overflow. But now if I run it, I also did a read key, so I don't have to run this and debug all the time and have the breakpoint there. But if I run this, so now you can see I generated 2 rooms. They're exact copies of each other because it's doing it the exact same way right now. But you can see that it built 2 rooms. So that is pretty cool. The one thing I want to do then right now is the doors. Now that we got the rooms working, stacking, um, I want to be able to put the doors on them in the correct spots. And right off the bat, I'm going to change all these U ints to just be ints. I don't want that anymore. Because if we want to use this in entity, um, we don't really want negative width, height, and room counts, but we want negative coordinate planes, negative coordinate positions. So, and rather than just go through and find them, we'll just do all of them. as ints, because hopefully you're not making a 32,000 tile sized room in squared, 32,000 squared at potentially sized room. That would not be good. Okay. So I want to do the doors. If I run this again, you'll see it is placing the doors, but it's just using the hard-coded 02 direction east. So you can see that here. So D for door. And we don't want that. We want it to, so we want the rooms to generate, the first room to generate any number of doors between 1 and 4. And then we want the rooms after that to first find where they came from, place a door somewhere along that wall, and then generate more. So let's start with that. So the place doors wants a last lock Y and last lock X and a direction of facing. So what we can do is say okay. Give me 1 minute to think. So let's come down here. Let's just do a switch based on based on last room. No. We want to be able to tell. I guess that's what last room direction is. Never mind. So, and we'll just change this to be this room direction. So we want to say, okay, if if room dir is either north or south, then let's do the last x. So we'll do just do quickly int door x and door y, door e. We'll do door x and door y. So if room dir is equal to north or south, then we want our door position, not north or south. That's stupid. That's stupid, Trey. If it's north, we want door y to be equal to start y, and then x, door x equal to start x plus room width divided by 2. So we just want to place our door in the middle of the room right now, is basically all we want to do. Else if, else if, else if. So south, east, and west. No, wait, this direction is north, so we want this to be his start y plus room width, room height, minus 1. That's what we want. And then this one's fine. And then we just want to copy this and do room height and start Y. This is east, so we're on the... We want our door to be on the left side of the room. I'm doing this wrong, aren't I? No, I'm not. I'm not doing this wrong. Sorry. And then start Y. Start X. And start... Oh god, I can't type. Start X plus room width. -1. -1. Jeez. Okay. Let me turn on my light. I'm a little shadowed. No, it's not much better, but whatever. Okay. So that looks good to me. So then we can say, okay, instead of 0 and 2, do door X and door Y. And do I need facing anymore? No. Again, we want last lock X and last lock Y to be, we'll say door X and door Y, which really means we don't need X and Y because we don't care what position we're at. Well, we can say if X is equal to door X and Y is equal to door Y. Otherwise, we don't care. And then we want to, then yeah, this can all stay the same then because we don't care. So that works. And so in theory, we would want to generate those values beforehand, and then place doors would just get called beforehand. Otherwise, we're doing this every single time. So we have our direction, so let's, okay. So let's move this up here. Let's move this outside of the loop. And so up here with everything, we'll say this. That gives us that, and that's fine. Why do you no longer work? Because they need to be assigned something. Equals 0. Equals 0. Whatever, that's fine. And then... No, that should be good. For now, that should be good. So let's run it and see what happens. Fuck it. Let's see what it gives us. Okay. Interesting. So for the first room, we want to disregard what the direction is, and instead say, okay, when you place the next room, right? But I placed it on the corners. I don't even know if those were south or west, but or north and south or not, but so I'll have to double check that. But this still isn't right anyway. So we want the sorry, just removing some unnecessary casts. Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking to myself here. We want to generate the room. We want to create the door. No, we don't. We want to do it. We can do it inside here. That's fine. But if it's the first room, we need to be able to place the door down to where it goes. Everything else will be fine. No. No. Okay. This is fine. This is fine because this will be the starting door for room. So this isn't generating the rest of them. No, because we need that. That's literally okay. No, that's what this is. We're no. Okay, as I thought about it, I realized that doesn't make sense. Because I was gonna say, because we're generating the room as we go, the door as we go through, then it'll be fine. But it won't be because we're gonna run into the same problem. We'll have a door on the room that gets generated, but not a door in the previous room that shows that there's a room there. Is what is gonna happen. So first off, we'll say if we don't want to do this if the room number is 0. We don't want to do this specifically. And place doors can be. Let's copy that. We don't want that there. We don't want to do it on the loop of building. We want to do it at the end, after everything is done. So after the loop, we'll go through. We're setting our adjacencies. Place doors. Don't care about the start X, don't care about the start Y. X and Y can be generated in the function. We care about the room width, the room height, the door X, the door Y. We don't care about this anymore because we're doing that outside. care about the tiles. And we care about the room itself. Right? No, we care about the last room. And this isn't going to return anything. It's going to be void. And we're going to say door X plus door Y times room width. Right? No, we do want the starting X and Y just because we need to subtract it. Otherwise that door X is going to be, the door X and Y are going to be too big. Excuse me, sorry. Minus start X and door Y minus start Y. So that'll remove it from the current that will remove it from the current tile list, and then we want to say room dot tiles, no, not capital, last room dot tiles. We'll start with the same position. Trying to figure out how I can do this without doing a check. If I want to do just no, because we need to know the direction anyway, because to know which door to put down. So we'll do a switch, and we do care about the facing then. Thought I could get away with it. Let's say side. Do a switch on side, and say case cardinal directions north. Break. North door. North door. North door. That's what I want. And then, so we're going to copy paste this, just changing the direction. South. South door. East. East door. West. West door. That was dumb of me. West door. And then this is also going to have to get copied in. Because again, we need to place the actual tile in there. And we don't even have to remove it, actually. We can say... we can say tiles. Because tiles is what we're currently using. So now the astute among you will know that the doors need to be reversed and sort of their directions. So if we are currently the north side, right? Yeah. So we want our door on the north side for this room. This will be north, and this will be south. So we have to reverse these. And then our location will have to be so for this is fine. This is exactly what we want. For this, we want to say the door Y minus the start Y. No, we want to say door Y minus last room dot origin dot Y. I believe. And then this will be origin dot X. Right? No, because we want it inversed. Oh, it's gonna be confusing. So let's say our door Y, so let's say we're placing it at north side, so it'd be 0, 2. That'd be in the middle of our top wall. And then the other one, we want to place it, so that's the room 2. For room 1, which is above it, we want to say, so same X, or sorry, 2, 0. So same X, and then we want to say the origin plus the height minus 1. And then the same thing for the X, but we want to do right. I think so. We will see how wrong I'm going to be in a minute. We just want the we don't need the origin because we're going to subtract it. That's exactly what this is doing. So we're just going to subtract it. So there's no point in having it and muddying up the function. Makes a little bit more sense. And then, yeah, so then here we'll do door Y minus origin.y and origin.y. And then this will be origin.x. Origin.x. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense. Perfect. And then place doors will get called place it at the end. Not place corners, place doors. Start X, start Y, room width, room height, door X, door Y, and the last room would be this, right? No, we have a last room variable. We have the last room. And then we want a side, so facing side. What did I call it? Room dir. And then the tiles. Room dot tiles. Yeah, that makes sense to me. We'll see what happens. And I want to make sure that the room and stuff is being sent by reference here. So we'll place a breakpoint there just to make sure. And here's hoping nothing completely broke. Okay, well, I'll take errors over runtime errors. Right, I removed all the casts, but I needed to keep these. Oops. Okay. So room.tiles, in theory, should have a door somewhere. A. Okay. And his room, it's an only room. What's about last room? Does that exist? Last room exists. What? This for a roguelike or something? Yeah, Word. That's exactly what it is. It is for a roguelike game my buddy and I want to make. So, just testing out some, or trying to write it, try to write it by hand, get a handle on everything. Just a little confused on how this room essentially built itself, but let's continue. Let's see what we get. Okay. So trying to work out procedural gen. Exactly. Trying to work out how to write a good procedural generation. Or I shouldn't say good. Trying to work out how to write procedural generation. Did you write this from scratch or borrowed from somewhere else? This is from scratch. Okay, so we see our door here on the south, which is good. There, I can zoom in that so that it's a little bit more readable. Yeah, so we have our door down here, which is good because we are sending it that it's the north room. So that's good. It's doing what it's supposed to. Except that it's not, because we want to say that this is room 1. Because we start our counting at 1, not at 0. Cool. I want to make a roguelike as well at some point, so I've been reading about procedural gen a little, but I'm just starting to learn Python, so it'll be a while. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I'm pretty much self-taught in C#, so that's about the extent of my knowledge. Taking C++ and Java through school, but C# is the language I am most comfortable with. I tried doing a little bit of Python, but I always like do a couple projects and then forget everything. So okay, I was about to say cool, and then I looked over here, and we have doors in corners. So that's not cool. Also, what's A and what's B? A is oh shoot. So it's north, south, east, west. Okay. So A is north door, B is south door. Are you making the engine yourself or building on something like Pygame or Godot? I am building out of Unity. I tried to build an engine myself, and it did not go well. Need a little bit more knowledge of sort of the assembly and everything before I can really deep dive into that. Because graphics were drawn, but boy were they bad. Any particular reason for choosing Unity? No, it's just the first one I thought of. I know it's the most, or at least for me, easiest to use. It's the one I've seen more about. There's more information readily available about it, so I use Godot a little bit, but not enough nearly to understand or get a grasp of it. So okay. Oh wait, I forgot we were place door was yeah. 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 Okay, so this is good then. This is good. This makes sense. This is our, well, these need to be reversed. This is supposed to be our north door. This is supposed to be our south door. But that makes sense. Letters are doors. Yeah, letters are doors. So it'd be A, B, C, D. No. A, B, C, D. Um, so why are we getting a door here and a door here? Why did we make 3 doors when we only generated 2 rooms? Well, let's try to find out. So first off, let's just see if we're, so room num should be 1. So we're gonna skip right over that. Awesome. And then we'll put a breakpoint on place doors. I apologize too. I don't comment my code very well. So it's just kind of a mess. You're stuck with my shitty explanations of things. um, where am I? I'm right here. Okay. So put a breakpoint on place doors. So we'll see what's kind of going on there. It's fine. Probably wouldn't have enough time to read the comments in the scroll anyway. Exactly. Yeah, the comments would be more for me, but okay. So if the room num's not equal to 1, which it's not, it's 2, so that's good. Then we check the room direction. So south. Okay, cool. So it's our door Y will be our start Y, which will be 0. And then our door X would be the start X plus the room width divided by 2. Excuse me, so 2. And that's just so we can place the door in the middle on the wall. That's hit continue again to get to the place door. What? why'd we jump over the place doors function? Huh. Oh, why did we jump over that? Alright, we're gonna restart. We're gonna restart execution. Don't care about that. Okay. Didn't do it this time, but that's because I told it not to specifically. Oh, we should have jumped right into here anyway because the breakpoint was there. Whatever, Visual Studio. Works like a dream. Okay, so side south. So we're telling it that yes, so we're telling it that this room is south from the last room. Which means that we want to place our we want to place ours at 0 and then the X for this room. And then for the last room we want to place it at its height minus 1. Okay, so that's right. And then same X, so 2 equals this one we want to be the south door. And this one we want to be the north door. We'll change that in a bit. Anything dealing with the last room is going to have the coordinate that it says up here, so we'll deal with that in a second. Let's make sure everything else is working. Okay. So we built a room, so we're good. Let's hit continue again. So we don't need to... Okay. The execution of this right now is a little weird. I'm going to get rid of this breakpoint because that's throwing me off a little bit. Go inside of it. So this direction is north. How do you identify each room? Each room is given a ID. So as it loops through, it's giving an ID value. Starting at 1 and then going up to the maximum decided room count. Our room's assigned a number, a name. Yep, a name. Or no, sorry, a number. Yeah, they're given a number. Okay. Do you use Cartesian coords or something? Yes, Cartesian. So yeah. Normal xy's can be negative or positive. Because that's the same one that Unity uses. So that's what I've got it prepared for that for Unity, Godot, Unreal, so it can use that same coordinate plane. What was I doing? I lost my train of thought. Okay, so we're here. Oh, our site is north. So what's our last room? That's what I was. Sorry, it's all good. It's all good. I enjoy the conversation. So okay, so it looks like we're in a bit of an infinite loop, perhaps, or some kind of loop, where our last room is the room that we're already in, so forth. So obviously you can see ID 2, and then ID 1 for our last room, and then to the north, ID 1. So we've looped back. So okay. Let's kill two birds with one stone. Move this up here. Move this. Where'd I go? Did I get rid of a whole ass function? Okay. I didn't. The answer to that was no. We'll move this down here. So the first room will not generate its own doors. It will generate the rooms, and then those rooms will build the doors in the last room that they came from. Is the way I'm handling that. And we don't want to do anything. We don't want to generate the doors or come up with a XY if we're the first room. That might fix that. I trust it. Let's run without debugging. Give it a second to load everything up. So it's important in where you place the loops in the code itself. Right. So like in that case, what was happening was it's a recursive function that's getting called for each branch of door that comes out. So what was happening there was it was calling it, going through the branch, and then because that place doors was at the end, it was still saying, okay, I'll try to place doors anyway, with a 0, 0 coordinates because it wasn't intended to place that door. But now looking at this, so room 1 has A, room 2 has B, and the walls are all fine, so, and then no letters, which means no other doors. So that's good. That's very good. Looks like the appropriate number of doors this time. Exactly. Prove it wasn't luck, we'll run it again. Okay, so we generated one room, and that means no doors. Could it be a fluke? Yep. Chat might be a little behind, but yeah, you're picking up what I'm putting down. Didn't mean to do that, but so we got a north and a south again. So let's see what's going on there, because there's no way it's always a north and a south. So we will say we'll generate a little blurb of information here. And say adjacent rooms, and we'll just go off their ID just because that's what's visible. Can you tweak it to produce several pairs of rooms at once so you can just look at more examples? Yeah, I can generate more rooms. Yep. So we'll say we'll do minimum of 4, maximum of 4. So we're just going to generate 4 rooms. And we'll see what that does. So we have one here, and one here. And then we have this, so A to B, B to A, and then C to D. Zoom in again so you can see that. So yeah, so we have A to B, B to A, and then C to D. So we'll crank that up again, just to make sure, because it might just make sure we're getting branching rooms. So another room should generate a couple other rooms. So we'll knock that up to 6. That way we're guaranteeing it should branch off. Aha! That was a Stack Overflow. Aha! A problem. Oh no. Okay. So this is what's great about recursive functions. Sometimes they just throw Stack Overflows if you don't do them properly. So in the room class, I have a getRooms function that's recursive that goes through, traverses from the starting head node all the way down to the ends of each branch, and then returns it, adding it to a referenced list. That's what's happening here. So it's a Stack Overflow because more memory than what was allocated is getting used because of this. If I send the last room ID as a reference, a ref or out cannot have a default value. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. So if I send it by reference, I could potentially save that extra, 4 bytes each time. Property or indexer. Mother. Can you just allocate more memory? I'm gonna level with you. Not 100% sure how to do that. A little bit, not that bright. Allocate more memory to Visual Studio 2019 debugger. Fair enough. Yeah. But I mean, that's not inherent. Having a Stack Overflow like that, like having stop and think. That's not necessarily an evil to have it, because obviously, if it's gonna throw memory errors like that, we would want to be able to support that. We wouldn't want this to be something that's a huge memory hog. So int id equals 0. Return ID. But yeah, so as I was saying, so storing the I have no idea how memory management works yet. I'm just learning basic syntax still. Exactly. Yeah, and that's totally understandable. Believe me, when I was starting out, memory's not a huge issue that you think of. You're more worried about actually learning how to do things. But yeah, so sending it as a reference means it's not going to store a copy. It's actually sending the value at that address. So we're not creating more memory, we're just using what we already have. The only problem comes from attached room count. So it ends the value and then discards. So it sends the value and then discards it. It sends the actual value that is at the address. So again, probably not something you've gotten too much into, but your variables are stored in memory. When you send them to a function without a reference tag, generally they are sent by what's called by value. And like you said, it sends a copy of the value, and then when the function's done, discards that copy. But if you send it by reference, it is sending the actual variable address that you created it at, which is it's dangerous because you are modifying the actual value, or you have the potential to modify the actual value. But as long as you're not modifying it like that, it's fine to do it. It's a general safe practice for memory. These are already attached, or they not know they're created each time. Okay, we'll go with that. I mean, I doubt that little 4 bytes is gonna save us much, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, I broke something already. Perfect. Right, because it's not being sent anymore, so we need ref 0. We just need to actually explicitly tell it 0. That's not. Oh, oh God. Oh God. Okay. This dot ID. ID. Ref ID. There we go. My brain shut off there for a minute. Okay. That's good. Okay. So let's run this again. We should have generated 6 rooms there. Try that again. Stack Overflow error. Yeah. So it's gone through a few times. So okay. We went up to 6. Let's try 5. Let's see if 5 breaks it. 5 also breaks it. Only generated 1 room. Okay. Only generated 1 room. So it's going to throw Stack Overflow the deeper down it goes. So in that case, we had a third or fourth room that was branched off of the second room or third room, rather than in the first case where we tried all 4, where they were all branched off of the first room. The function was only going to run 1 extra time. I'll have to solve that off camera, get a little deeper into what's going on there. But for now we know 2 works. So yeah, we'll stick with 2. Let's let it write a little blurb for information. And then we'll say north is room r dot adjacent room IDs 0 /n for new line. Copy this. South 1. Meow. Hey AJ, how you doing, man? 2. And 3. By the way, word, if you like this kind of content, be sure to follow. I've been doing this a little bit more lately, and also my friends and I do some streaming, mostly on weekends, but occasionally we'll get one here in the week when we're all kind of bored. So yeah, if you like this kind of content, definitely be sure to subscribe or follow. Subscribe. What is this, YouTube? I'm refreshed. Just woke up from a nap at 8 o'clock at night. You're not gonna sleep for hours. Okay. So adjacent rooms. Word. Thank you for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. So adjacent rooms to our south is room number 2, and to the room to the north is room number 1, and we can verify that with the doors. Okay. That is pretty cool. Hell yeah, 5 hours a night for weeks on end sucks. Yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah, no, I gotcha. I gotcha. Um, okay, so we'll run again. Make sure, see if we can get a different combination. No, we're just getting north and south. Oh, what the heck? I mean, hey, it really works with north and south, but oh, I'd like it to do something else. You know, it's a little boring getting the same result. Do we care about the cardinal direction in the first room? We don't. Getting used to it, but I really need to change my sleep schedule. Yeah, 5 hours sleep really isn't something you want to get used to. That's pretty rough. That's a hard one. We're not using it, so I guess it doesn't matter that it's there. I was just trying to figure out if I could get rid of that, but it's not being used, so it doesn't matter. So why are we only getting north and south rooms? This is interesting. Oh, God, I had a stroke trying to read Do Knighted. I was like, Do Righted? Do Do Knighted? I really couldn't read that. Yeah. Damn Do Knighted States challenge. Were you you screw up your sleep schedule because of the Do United States challenge? Oh God, my eyes itch. Or is that just is this another conversation? Changing the subject on us. What is a Do United States challenge? It was a little like giveaway contest that Mountain Dew had. If you collected, each bottle had a state on it. So if you collected all 50 states, you got entered into a giveaway. I don't remember what the prize amount was, but AJ can tell you. Um, God, I really would like to get something that's not north and south. Well, I guess that dream is not going to happen. It might be the random, might be something that's happening there. Let's throw a 3 in there. Ah, terminated the Stack Overflow. Perfect. Oh my God. Don't tell me this is going to be a constant thing now. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Um, so. Oh. Here's an interesting thing that's not supposed to happen. So room 1 got added twice. Yeah, exactly. It's listing room 1 twice. Exactly. That could be a culprit of our Stack Overflow issue as well. So why is it doing that? Well, room 1 has 2 branching off of it. Room 2 has 1 and 3. Ah. Oh, I just opened Pinnacle. God damn it. Now my computer's gonna be dog shit until I can close that. Aha. Damn it. So if 2 north is not equal to null, and 2 north dot ID is not equal to last room ID. So I'll enunciate what happened because I said it in my brain and not out of my talking box, also known as a mouth. So the attached room count for room 2 was not 1, it was 2. We had 2 rooms attached to room 2. So it said, okay, hey, this is false. And so then immediately doesn't care, it just says, okay, break, go, don't return, go into the function. And then so because it did that, it said, hey, to the north is not null, I'll go ahead and add that. And then it went again and said, hey, to south's not null, I'll go ahead and add that, like it should have. So we have to also check that the room ID is not equal to the last one we came from. This is a lot of words there. Yeah, I had pop the other day, like for the first time in a while. Disgusting. Okay. So let's get through these Stack Overflow exceptions. Yeah. F5. Yeah, okay. F5. F5. Okay. Let's I don't know. I want to do 3 rooms. I want to test that. Oh, it's not. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. It's not a Stack Overflow. It's a null reference because I was doing 2 south, 2 north for everything. I was saying, hey, is 2 south null? No? Cool. Then check 2 north's ID because that makes a boatload of sense. Yeah, so that was a null reference exception, not a Stack Overflow exception. That's why it was happening more consistently. Room 3 got added twice. Now. So now we gotta see why that is. But hey, we got a different combination, I think. No, it's still south and north. For room 1 and 2. But room 2 has room 3. So room 3 says... Room 3 is to the south. Oh! Wait a minute. Room 3 got a second door. Got its door switched. Okay. Interesting. Wait. Room 3 is listed... Uh-huh. Yeah, so this is a problem that I thought was going to happen at some point. So room 1 generates room 2, and we start with that, and it goes off and says, okay, well, I'm going to generate a room as well, room 3. And we get this room 3, the first one. Now we're done with that. That whole branch ends, so we come back, and then it says, hey, I want to generate one on the south side too. The ID is still the same, and so it says, okay, well, this is going to be called room 3. That's why. So, that's not the cause of our Stack Overflow issue, that's the cause of my poor programming. Um, Not that those are mutually exclusive. Why am I getting text messages? Okay. Got people from work, or one of my coworkers commenting on my work anniversary on LinkedIn. Okay. So how can we stop that? So that's back up here at the top when we're generating the room. Not at the top. But when we build the room, we want to so we're not doing this asynchronously, which means we can utilize the single thread aspect of it and say, hey, go ahead and the last ID you create, return it all the way back to here. Which could work. But in theory, no. No, you really wouldn't want this to kind of generate multiple rooms like that. You'll lose control of it very quickly. So let's go with that. Let's go with that. Okay. So we want to so we're returning I plus room number, which is okay. And this is a void, which means we can utilize changing it to an int. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump my microphone there. Have you read any books or something about procedural generation that you'd recommend? No, that would be the smart thing to do. No, I have not read anything on procedural generation. But that would be a very smart thing to do. I should definitely find some stuff. That would be probably super helpful right now. Okay. Trying to best think about what I want here. So what do? We pull up Paint as a digital whiteboard. Because I am huge on just drawing out everything on whiteboards in order to collect my thoughts. So we have our room number of 1. We have room 1. Room 1 wants to build a room. That room becomes room 2. And then room 2 says, hey, I'm going to make 2 rooms. So that becomes, so we start with the left, this becomes room 3. We want to return that back to room 2 and say, okay, now when you build the next one, oh shit, didn't put room 3 on there. Now when you build the next one, give it this max value and say, create it as room 4. And then we come back. And room 1 says, hey, I want to build another room. And so we send it back, making it room 5. This arrow would more actually look like, because we're not sending it back to the first call directly, because it's recursive. So we would want to say, we're done with this. This is now our maximum room count. Send it back to that. And then send it back to that, which then sends it on to that. And then obviously, room 5 would send it back to the first one when it's done. Obviously, this only works on a single thread process, but okay. So we can say, hey, create our int max room num equal to 0. Build max room num will equal whatever build room returns. And then we say I plus room num plus max room num. Right? No, we could say I plus max room num. And then instead of setting it to 0, we set it to room num. So that would be good. And then at the end of the function, after everything's done, we return max room num. Oh god, I hope. Let's check it out. We generated 1 room. I don't know why it's only generating 1 room sometimes. That might be a problem. Yeah, that might be a problem. That's why. Because it's allowing between 0 and 4. So I'll have to change that, but whatever. Room 1, room 2, room 3. Cool. And that goes 3 layers deep. So we have the first one, second one, and then the second one creates a third one. B, B, A. Cool. I like that. Let's run it again. This one only generated 2 rooms. Whatever, that's fine. B and A, that's cool. 1, 2, and 3. So, what I might have done is actually potentially fixed another problem, which was creating more rooms than the maximum limit intended. Because obviously, the last time we ran that where we got the 2 room 3s, we were still only set to 4, but it generated a 4th room because of that error. So doing that actually took care of that as well, which is good. Okay. trying to think. I'm trying to think what else I want to do. Doors was really the only thing I had planned, and I got that working a lot quicker than I really thought I would. So I guess what I can do is show this off. So if I do a copy of everything here, move it into, we'll open up this project for Unity that I've been working on. And what I'll do then is generate, using the icons and things that I've been working with, generate an actual visual dungeon. Probably should have loaded this project up beforehand, but oh well. Hindsight is 2020, and 2020 has been a hell of a year, so. Okay. There is something else I might need to do. And I believe the Unity project does that. Oh, I still have this open. Close that. And that's setting the starting X and Y values. No, they don't. Unity doesn't already do that. So I want my starting X and Y values each time I build the room, depending on which site it's on, to be equivalent to that. Because obviously this is using Cartesian plane, so we would want to build those side by side. Unity is still opening, I believe, so that's a close pinnacle. Close pinnacle, because I opened that 20 minutes ago for no reason. Yeah, so each time we build the room, we want to say, based off of our directions, we'll say var dir equal to that. Why? What the hell? What is going on there? It's like sending me down to the next line. Guess let's do dir, because that's... What the hell? Alright, we're copy pasting, because that line is broken for some reason. Var dir equals type of... Oh. That's why. Weird. That was... Huh. Didn't know Visual Studio did that. If you end a line that has an open bracket, parenthesis like that, it'll... Well, now I look like an idiot. But I guess it would put it on to the next line, because it thinks the next line is what's ending it. No overload for parse takes one method. Oh, that... Because I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Okay, there we go. That's why. I feel like it goes without saying, but please don't take this video as any sort of tutorial or how-to video, because, as I've stated, I'm an idiot. And I probably have as much knowledge on the topic as you, so... Okay, so we have our direction. So now with that direction, we want to say... if dir equals, so again, we'll do a switch because I just don't want to write if all the time. So for case.north, our starting x needs to be start y. We can only do this once we generate the width, height and width. So we do this not here. This is fine. We can leave that. That's fine. So here we want to say switch based on room dir case. Start with north. Break. Okay. So we want to change start x to be the trying to think if I could just do this with one statement. Because we could do the start x equal to last room dot origin dot x plus, or minus rather, minus the last room dot width or plus the negative last room dot width. No, we want minus, I think. So in this case, so if I say our origin 0 and our room width is 5, we would want to say our starting x. We don't want our start x to be. Forget it. Thought I could do it with one easy statement, but that's just a lot more thinking than I really want to put in the time for right now. So for north, we want to say our start x is equal to the last room origin dot x, and our start y is equal to last room dot origin dot y minus the current room height. South, east, and west. So south again, our x is the origin.x, and our start y is the origin.y plus the last room dot height. We might need -1 for that, just for good measure. Just to really make sure that we're not touching it or overlapping it. And these are going to be origin.y and west. Our location is west of the last room, so we want origin.x minus room width, and then origin.x minus last room dot width. Yeah. Easy enough. Good stuff. So let's take all this. I have the code over here for it. We're gonna take all that, paste. And then over here in our generate map, we don't want to do this. We want to say we want to create a list of room of type game object, because Unity uses the game object type, and name it rooms equal to new of that, and then say room dot get rooms ref rooms. Cannot convert from ref rooms Unity game object to ref. Oh shoot! I forgot because in here I created one as well for part of it. Oh well. Room. Using dungeon generation. Okay. Gonna go through here, get rid of some unnecessaries. This whole thing is unnecessary. But okay. So then we'll say build all rooms. Oh, I forgot I changed this. Change get X to be X. Get Y to be Y. Sorry, I'm dumb. I named a struct the exact same as what Unity calls one as well. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. So now if I come over here to Unity, it's going to take some time to load all that up. But I shouldn't get any overflow errors, or at least not like I was getting. So I should, in theory, be able to generate a couple rooms. Please open up, thank you. Okay. So I have a little prefab object here just called Dungeon Manager. It's got the manager script on it that allows me to generate. Minimum room count, we only want 2. Well, we'll do 1 just to make sure everything still works. We'll make it a 5x5. Generate. Cool. So you can see it generated a 5x5 room just using some grass tiles that I had that I knew had all 8 directions plus the floor that I needed. And it's doing that by creating a clone of each object that I had listed here. So then let's do 2 rooms, not 12 rooms. Generate. It's gonna take it a little bit more time. It's gotta think a little bit more. As long as Unity doesn't crash, should be fine. But if Unity crashes, that's a whole different problem. I have a feeling Unity's gonna crash. But that's okay. If it doesn't work, that wasn't the goal. That was just more showing this in action. The goal I did get done. Got rooms, got doors done, and placing rooms where they need to go. So if I add a little blurb of information here, that is just the origin, and then say r.origin.x and r.origin.y. Go ahead and run it. You can see 0, -1, 0, 4, and 0, -6. Not sure why room 1 had a -6 origin, but that's okay. So yeah, hopefully this was enjoyable. Definitely a little bit more involved than some of the last ones may have been. But this is fun. I'm enjoying this. A lot I know that I still need to learn, but other than that, this is coming along pretty well. Yep. So, thank you for watching. That'll be it for this one. Don't know when I'll do the next one. It'll probably be, just keep an eye out. And if you want to see sort of the full thing, even a 4-part little series I did previous, that was sort of a precursor to this, where I was doing more, it'll be on my YouTube channel. ThinkLink99 on there as well. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, and peace out.